this webinar. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. We will just wait just one more minute, just for everyone to join us. The last couple of people are logging in now. On your screens is a QR code. If you don't mind just scanning that, and I will put the link to it in the chat as well. It's just the event registration for today's event. It basically is a couple of bits of information about yourself to send to the Department of Trade. Just that we can continue delivering these events basically to you guys. If there's anything you don't know the answer to or don't want to answer, just leave it blank or click prefer not to say. Yeah, we'll just wait another minute so it's 10 o'clock and the last couple of people are joining us now. Perfect. I think there's lots of people joining still. Morning, everyone. Right, if we get started, that's okay with you, Matthew, and then
Absolutely.
ask a couple of people can join in. Just want to say good morning to everyone, a big welcome, and thank you for attending this Kent and Medway Growth Hub event, all about SEOs. I'm Sarah from Smarter Society, and we have the Kent and Medway Growth Hub contract. Um, um, yeah, we've got the Kent and Medway Growth Hub contract. So basically, I just wanted to let you know a bit of information about the Growth Hub. The Kent and Medway Growth Hub, we provide free and impartial advice to businesses across the region, whether a company is just starting out or looking to scale up. The hub offers a variety of services to meet the unique needs of businesses at all stages of growth. From one-to-one consultations with experienced businesses to accessing the latest funding opportunities, we are the go-to resource for any business looking to succeed. This is an online event today, so this morning will basically look like sort of a 45-minute presentation from Matthew, all about SEO and how to use it to grow your business. And then we'll have a Q&A session, so you can type your questions into the Q&A function on Zoom, and then we will read them out and go through them all. And then we are looking to finish about 11 o'clock. So yeah, that's how today will work. And without further ado, I'll pass over to Matthew for all things SEO.
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. As you've heard, my name's Matthew. I'm not used to Zoom being in this little box down the bottom corner, so if I'm in the way of anything, just mention it in the chat. I've said 40 minutes to better rankings, but I speak incredibly fast. So if you need to recap anything or want me to go back on anything, please mention in the comments, and I'm always happy to answer questions afterwards. This is going to be a simple guide for small businesses. It's to help businesses that are growing. It would even help businesses that are currently hiring an SEO agency, trying to improve their rankings on Google or Bing or whatever platform it might be. There's going to be some interactive bits. I've got some QR codes for you to download, different bits and pieces as we go through that will help you. They're like checklists to support your business. First, I'll kind of go into a little bit about myself, why I'm qualified to talk to you, why I'm qualified to be here. So I am head of SEO strategic growth at Tootle Works. I'm also a part owner. We help small businesses turn websites into consistent lead generators through multiple sources like social media, their website, email, paid ads, and SEO. SEO being the main thing. I've spent 10 years in marketing. I am baby-faced, but I am 31 years of age. And that's covered mainly SEO, but into paid content strategy. And I've seen what works before AI changed everything, and we'll go into that a little bit later of how to rank within AI as well. I specialize in making SEO commercially useful, not vanity rankings. Traditionally in SEO, there's been a lot of people that quite simply just give you, oh, you're number one for this, but if the term isn't getting any traffic, what's the point? I'm based in Kent. We're actually right here in the middle of Chatham. So if anybody ever wanted a cup of tea or a coffee, or if it's a bit later, a beer, always happy to meet and get to know people and local businesses around us. We work with a range of businesses from corporates like Shepherd's Neame, Chelsea Football Club, then local teams. And then we've also run paid ads campaigns for awards, estate agents, and there's just some smaller companies that we're working in a local area that I happen to have their logo on my machine. But overall, we've got around, I think it's 53 clients right now. So today's agenda, as I said, it's going to be about 40 minutes. I've got 53 slides, so about 30 seconds a slide. So try not to bore you. And we're going to go through what ranking number one really means, what SEO is, how Google decides, and all of those elements that will, in fact, help you rank better. What I mentioned about the resources, that little URL down the bottom, tootleworks.com/Medway, that will take you to all of the resources that I've prepared for today's webinar. So any questions, I will be showing the QR code as we go through, so you can access it on your mobile device whilst you're watching. Something to learn straight away, there is no shortcuts in SEO. Only smart work that compounds, and that's so important to consider when you're looking at your SEO. There's no shortcuts. Don't try cutting corners. Don't go to this guy on Fiverr that's promised you 100 links that are going to make you number one next week. It's not going to happen. SEO takes time. So what does ranking number one really mean? It's different results for different people in different locations. So Google is not the same for everybody that searches. It solely depends on where you're searching. There's national goals, there's local goals. So say we were trying to rank in Medway, we need to rank for all the individual towns, Gillingham, Chatham, Rochester, Strood, Rainham. We need to go deeper than that. We need to start ranking in Twiddle. We need to start ranking in White Road Estate even. Like you need to get down to where you want to rank, depending on your business, of course. If you're a coffee shop, going right down to the very local area is important. But now if you're a national business, you want to be talking in national terms. And if you're trying to rank within Kent, need to be talking Kent and all of the larger areas in Kent, for example, Medway, the Tunbridge area, Swale. All of these are highly important. We get into it a little bit deeper later, so don't worry too much now. Google does want the best answer and the best experience. They don't want a shoddy website that doesn't load. That's not going to rank. There's no single magic trick that is going to make this a simple process. But if you follow what I tell you today, you're going to be 100 times better than 99% of the businesses out there. The goal here is to be the most useful result to your customer. Do you answer their question? That's the important thing. So how does Google decide what to rank? First, we need to understand what Google's looking for in order to, that gives you that 1, 2, 3, 4. Relevance. Does your page match the search? We see time and time again, people cram all of these so-called keywords into their page. It doesn't really answer the customer's questions, so therefore the customer never buys, and people turn around and say SEO doesn't work. So we need to be really clear on what we're offering. So if we write a blog about how to unblock a toilet, for example, does it answer the question, the 4 steps to unblock a toilet? If we are asking, I don't know, for who installs EV charging points, and is that page relevant? Is it answering that question? The next step is, can Google trust you? And the way we build trust is through trust logos, reviews on your Google My Business, and just links from an external website to yours. It uses those as clear indications that Google trusts you? And then quality of your content. Is it genuinely useful? Quite often, and so many times, we see AI content all over a website, and the owner's going, I don't know why my website's not ranking. It's because Google's seen all of that content on your website before. It's not quality and it's not useful because it exists somewhere else on the internet already. And finally, is the site fast and easy to use? Is it good for the user? And that's a massive ranking factor in the local in recent times. This next slide here, this little chart here, just kind of shows you some of the ranking factors and the percentages of weight that is held. One of the big important things here is consistency of publication. So, are you posting a blog every week? Are you posting a blog once a month even? Just small steps, but are you consistent? And you're to be 23% ahead of your competitors if they're not posting and you're posting every month. It's simple maths. Please, I can send this to you, but it's a really useful chart to have in mind and compare against your competitors, and you find where's the step ahead. Most searches are questions. People are too busy to finish. SEO is answering the part they didn't type. Think about when you ask Google questions. We're stupid when we search and we miss out the joining words. We need to fill in those gaps, answer those questions, and also answer questions that people didn't ask. So when they ask, I don't know, what size tire do I need for my Seat? It gives you the size tire. It also gives you the pump that your company sells to blow that tire up, but also it answers how to clean your hubcaps or whatever it might be, or make sure your brakes are in good condition. We need to be answering questions and being extremely useful. Keywords are what's important here, and I've already mentioned it, and search intent matters. So, why is the person searching? Are they looking for information? Are they ready to buy? Or are they just looking for a how-to guide? These are like the points of the sales process. So, for example, we would write lots of blogs on how to do SEO. I'm doing a webinar today on how to do SEO. People are not ready to buy when they're going through the how to because they're doing it themselves, which is absolutely fine. But that is the first step to bringing people into your business, because as those businesses grow, or even as a product might be, I don't know, it might be a camera guide, how to take great headshots, step-by-step guides, how to take great headshots. But ultimately, we can go do those headshots. That's how it evolves into I'm ready to buy. You need to choose realistic keywords, niche down. Don't be going for, okay, I want to be number one for gymnastics in Kent, in the UK. You want to go, okay, let's be more relevant. Let's be number one for gymnastics in Medway. Let's be number one for gymnastics in Kent, and then grow it up into the national terms. Be realistic. Don't go, right, I'm going to be number one in the UK by this time next week. It's never going to happen. The other important thing is one page, one topic. So many people are trying to have a one-page website which answers all of these multiple questions. Never going to happen. It's time to break down your website into individual pages, break down all of your services, whatever services they might be. It might be, I don't know, electrical contracting, industrial electrical contracting, commercial electrical contracting. Break all these keywords out. So important. It's going to be a game changer for your business if you split these things up. Don't try to rank one page for everything. So the first mini workshop, and so just take some notes here. There's you can think about this later. Take about 5 minutes over a cup of tea. Write down one of the services you offer, or all these services if you want to go a bit deeper. Now add your location, and then add one word describing the intent. So is it an emergency? Is it affordable? Is it luxury? So the example I've got here, I know I'm in the way, but behind me it says the example is plumber. Instead of just plumber in Maidstone, it's an emergency plumber in Maidstone. And the reason for that is we've got intent. Somebody is looking for an emergency plumber. They've got something going on. Google understands the word emergency, and so we'll automatically understand there's other words that could also mean emergency. Call out plumber in Maidstone, for example. Um, Moving on to the first of our on-page SEO basics. Now that you understand that you need to break down your keywords, a keyword per page. You need to tell Google what your page is about. And there's a few elements within your page and the structure of your page. I will break this down. You've got the page title. which we see whenever we go on a website straight away. Here's the page word, page title. What a lot of businesses do is they put their business name there. They go, I don't know, we are Tootle Works. Customer doesn't care. Customer's got a problem. So like in the previous example, they want to see their emergency plumber in Maidstone. I'm in Maidstone and I've got an emergency with my plumbing. Answers the intent of the customer. And so if you just make that switch within your website, you're going to see a massive move. We then look at the structure of your website. So H1, H2 is what in the code your website titles are categorized as. You should only have one H1, and that's the main title that I talk about in the page title. And then H2 are supporting titles, and the supporting titles should support those. I will stay with the same example of the plumber. You've got emergency plumber in Maidstone. Underneath, you might say emergency toilet plumber in Maidstone. It's an additional keyword that is relevant to the previous keyword. So unlike what I said previously, where one keyword, one page, it's a supporting keyword. So therefore it's about the exact same subject, just said in a slightly different way because we want to bring people in there. We need to look at our content as well. We need to write for humans first and Google second. We are in a world of over optimization. Just write natural content that and Google will love it. And that's exactly what we've done. We've got in-house copywriters who write the content, and it's what I preach. I say just write it as you'd write, like you're talking to another human being, like you're having a conversation, a one-way conversation where you're advising someone, and then Google will love it after obviously a little tweak. But we add the keywords in there. Also, very important, internal links. Link to other pages in your website that support what you're saying. This is where the trust element I spoke about ranking factors just previously. For example, if we are talking about social media hashtags, I'm going to link it to a hashtag blog within my website. So Google understands, okay, I read that blog. Okay, this person knows what they're talking about regarding hashtags. Also, for the user, if they don't know what a hashtag is, they would be able to go through and read further deeper into that. Then finally, one of the most important things is using descriptive file names and alt text or your images. So many people just copy an image off the internet, bung it into their website, and that'll do. Try to get unique pictures. I know it's not always possible. Stock images are fine, but describe what's going on in that image in the alt text is a little bit of code, which in most website backends you can just edit that. And if you do a quick Google search, you'll find out how to do it extremely easy, or just ask me and I will show you. You just put a little bit of information, what's going on in that image. So it might be an SEO expert explaining how to add alt text images, and that would be the descriptive text. It tells Google what's going on in that image so that it can understand it. Oh, just gone a little bit too far there. The next thing to look at is the way you structure your website as well. So is it structured in a way that is easily understandable to the users? I see so many websites where up the top they got everything they do. Let's break it down. Let's make it more simple. So about us, and the about us goes into the team in the drop-down menu, whereas the services goes into the products and the contact goes into the contact form. Or is your website currently a mess? One big task, simply sit there, clean it up. That will make a massive difference to your user experience and people won't bounce off your website. The next little bit of guide, I'm just trying to see if I can move out the way of this. Fix your titles on your website. So, for example, the bad title, just homepage, Bob's site. It's almost the standard that is just put on when by WordPress, by Wix, by Squarespace, whatever it is you're using. My task for you is to rewrite all of those pages. For example, um, for a plumber in Bristol, template would be service in location and the business name. So, for example, it would be plumber in Bristol, Bob's Plumbers. Let's keep it nice and simple. Reliable plumber in Bristol, Bob's Plumbing. It's think about your titles like that. Help the user within Google, help them understand what's going on your page. Moving on to content, and this is content that wins. I've spoke previously about it, writing for humans and not Google. But then service pages versus blog posts, what's the difference? I see blogs used incorrectly. Blogs should be used to explain issues and how-to guides to your users, whereas service pages need to be very much about this is our services, this is what we provide, potentially here's our pricing, and here's how to get a quote. And within the blog posting, to answer real customer questions, FAQs, we need to understand what problems our customers have. If you've read a book, They Ask, You Answer, that is a brilliant book and a brilliant example in there. The guy had a pool company in the US, and he saw the gap of answer all the questions my customers have. What's the difference between this and this competitor versus this competitor? And start comparing yourself to others. And be brutal. Pros and cons. There's cons of working with me, pros as well as there's more pros. For example, show proof. Help people see. Don't just write a blog post that's stating all of these facts. Show statistical facts, pricing, photos, linked case studies. Here's the proof of what we've done. Before and after photos, especially for the tradies, absolute gold. Be consistent, not perfect in your content. It's okay to push loads of content out there that as long as it's written by humans, but be consistent in what you do. AI can draft your blogs. That is absolutely fine, but humans must lead, otherwise your rankings will bleed. It's as simple as that. Use AI to go, hey, right, okay, I want to write a blog about this. Help me with structure of this article, but then fill in the gaps. And it's kind of a 20-80 rule there. Just get the basis. It'll help you a long way. Or even ask AI, write the first sentence for me. That can be the hardest step. Write the first sentence for a blog on this subject and take it from there. Take over. You're the expert in your business. There's a reason you sell what you sell, and that's because you're good at what you do. The next step, this is going to be kind of a bit of a mini masterclass within this masterclass. And this is going to be about your local SEO, and that's appearing on local maps and ranks. We're going to go into all of these subjects on here and why it matters and why Google trusts consistent information. But one of the key things you need to do is make sure your NAP is everywhere. And when I say NAP, I mean name, address, and phone must match everywhere from Facebook to Yelp to any other directory that you've ever signed up in the past. This helps Google trust your business. It understands this is your number. So if you asked AI, what's the number of my business to call, it was going to scan loads of places, match all those up, and go, this is the correct number because I know from 5, 6 different sources. If Google is confused about your address, you will not rank. Simple as that. If it's got an old address sitting there and it's got this one, it doesn't really know where you are. It's just going to drop you in favor of somebody it does know where they are. So first thing first, what we're going to go into is what is Google My Business? So Google My Business is a free tool. It is that little red dot on the map which shows your business. Looks a bit like this. You've probably seen it on the right hand side of your Google. And it is absolutely critical for local SEO. It allows customers to leave reviews and book services and shares essential business information, even your phone number, etc., without the customer even having to visit your website. And it's free. So why wouldn't you do it? What you need to do today, if you haven't already, is you need to claim and verify your profile. For example, this profile here, it's got a big get verified button up wrong side up there, and you might have that, need to press that and verify it. Google asks you to do a little video of your business premises, and that is going to help them verify that you're a real business. So you're going to go to this website at the bottom here, business.google.com, en-all business-profile. And you're going to claim or verify or create a new profile, whatever it might be. Search your business on Google Maps, see if it already exists. You can then there might be a little blue button that says claim if it already exists. Then select a verification method, which they used to do a lot of postcards. They've stopped doing that because there's a lot of fraud now, especially with virtual offices. There is a way around that, and if you want a way around that, please reach out and I can give you some tips on it. And then you need to obviously go through the verification process and prove ownership, which you might just need your print out of Companies House showing that you're a director. This is the page it'll take you to, and there's a big blue button up the top that says start now or sign in. Uh, it's completely free. Just do it. Just do it. If you do one thing today from this webinar, just go and do this. You then need to optimize your NAP. I've mentioned that before, but you need to make sure it's all in line and it is all correct. Make sure your hours correct, your categories. You can have up to 3 categories in there. So, for example, I have digital marketing agency, SEO agency, social media agency. If you're a roofer, you might have roofing, building, gutters, whatever it might be. Write 750 words of relevant characters that will in- explain to the user what you do as a business, and don't talk about yourself too much. Talk about the outcome of your work. We help keep homes warm in the winter with freshly serviced boilers or brand new boilers, whatever it might be. Obviously, fancy it up a little bit. Use your real world business name. Don't go stuffing keywords in your title. Google will just suspend your profile and they will quite simply just bang you. They've been doing a lot of suspensions lately, and I've seen it with a lot, especially the tradies. They try put in whatever their name is, builders and roofers and stuff, all in the title. Doesn't work anymore. If it does, and you're under the radar, don't make too many changes because as soon as they realize you're getting banned. The easiest SEO win is honesty and the correct name everywhere. Again, we're talking about trust. Google matching your business up with all of these different elements that you're putting all over the internet. Is this the same person? This is going to come into heavy play later when we talk about AI SEO. The next thing I'd want you to do is go and add some high quality photos of your business and what you do. Um, Profiles with photos receive 42% more requests for directions and clicks through to their website. Um, Make sure you got a logo, a cover photo. You can use a free tool like Canva. Go create yourself a cover photo. Make sure you got a nice logo and everything in there. Interior and exterior pictures of your business. If you are a home-based business, pictures of you with clients out networking. Take pictures of the work you've done. Photos build trust. Simple as that. Work in progress even. Okay, here's, I don't know, you might be a woodworker building a bench, and here's halfway through the project. This is how it's going. Show your expertise, and Google loves it. It shows you're real. Shows you're open. Um, when you upload photos, they will go through a pending process, which generally takes about 20 minutes, and where they verify if it's real or not. You then need to manage reviews actively. Reviews are a major ranking factor and social proof for potential clients. We all do it. We go to a restaurant, we go, oh, let's have a look at their reviews. And what do? We feature, we always filter by bad reviews because we want to know what went wrong. But then equally, you want to see the good reviews, most recent reviews. Ask your clients for reviews. Send a direct link to happy clients. Respond to everything, even if it's a bad review. We need to respond to bad reviews, respond professionally, calmly to negative feedback, explaining your position, or if they're misunderstood, don't get into arguments, don't shout with the client. It might be that it's a genuine mistake, and it'll be like, hey, we are very sorry, this is not the service that we strive to give. Please get in touch and we're going to make this right for you. Showing people, even on a bad review, that you've taken steps to fix that problem. And also within your responses, drop keywords, encourages client and also encourage the clients to mention the specific service areas. So, for example, we are obviously in Medway and we're trying to rank in Basildon because we're trying to expand the business. We've got a client there and go, would you mind mentioning in your review your location? That is going to really, really help us get more clients in the area. Here's an example. For all of our clients, we replied to every single review, good or bad. We reply to it, and that's important. As I said, it builds trust with our customers. So here's a little thing for you to go and do today, because reviews are the secret weapon. Reply to every good review, good or bad. And then I want you to go and draft a little text message. Hi, name, glad you liked the work or whatever it might be. Would you mind leaving a quick Google review? It helps us grow as a business. Here's the link on, obviously customize that a little bit. Say, hey, I would love it if you mentioned Chatham in your post or SEO or social media, whatever it might be. Then finally on your Google My Business profile, there's one final area, and that is posting regular updates. Treat GMB, Google My Business, that's the short, you'll hear me say that a lot, like a social media channel. Regular activity signals to Google that you're active and you're alive. You've got the opportunity in this area, and it's at the bottom of the profile. I'll show you an example in a second. Share special promotions, discounts, upcoming workshops, webinars. I shared this webinar on my own. Announce new services and or team members, but do remember posts disappear after 7 days. But there is a useful tool within the free Google My Business that allows you to schedule. It looks a little bit like this. At the bottom of the profile, these slide across. You've got an opportunity to write a little bit of information, link to a specific page on your website. Very, very useful. Very, very useful section. Every post is a signal to Google that we're open, we're active. And this is absolutely what we preach. We need to show Google we are alive, we are an active business. As I said previously, you're 23% ahead just by being consistent of your competitors. To help you with this, this is the first tool that is on that checklist. This is a Google My Business profile checklist. Everything I spoke about today is in there. Print this out, tick it off. Just make sure you've got all of these elements within your profile, and you're going to be more optimized than anybody else in your industry. It is tootleworks.com/Medway or the QR code just there above my head. I will be coming back to this a little bit later. So if you have any questions on this, absolutely, I'm willing to take that. I can show this QR code at the end as well. So that is the end of the business profile checklist for Google My Business. We go into something a little bit more technical. I've only done one slide on this because it gets a bit deep. This is where you're going to start needing to bring an expert in. We start looking at is your website mobile friendly? Most of our searches, about 80% of the searches are done on mobile devices now, yet most websites have been built to work on a desktop. There is exceptions. For example, my industry, we see a lot of about 80% of people coming through a computer because they're looking to buy a higher value service, whereas lower value services, whether it's a coffee shop or buying a t-shirt from a local brand, it's going to happen on a mobile device. So it's so important you speak to your web developers or speak to somebody like ourselves and say, hey, how do I get this more mobile friendly, or is it something you can help with? Next is speed of your website. Compressing images. Images really slow websites down. Videos slow it down even more. But there's little tricks that can be done. You can do it with simple Google search and just how do I make my image files smaller, and then you can start compressing the files, etc. The next area is indexing. Can Google actually see the pages on your website? There's another free tool called Google Search Console. If you just Google that, Google Search Console comes up. In there, you can actually ask Google, have a look at my website, and it will review your website periodically after that, making sure you're visible. That is the first thing we do as an SEO agency when we come into a business, is we make sure Google is actually reading your content. Honestly, about 7 out of 10 customers have blocked Google from seeing their content because I've never told them they exist. And so that's a very simple task you can go and do today. And then finally, you've got a sitemap, which can be auto-created in WordPress with tools like Yoast, platforms like Wix and Squarespace create their own, but they help Google also crawl around your website. And important, and that all ties in with robot text. I won't go too deep into that. That gets very boring. But if anybody does have questions, I would love to talk about it a bit deeper. The next area, and this goes back to trust, votes of trust, links from other websites, they're votes of confidence from external websites. So if you think of a website, websites have a number on their head. We don't know the exact formula that Google used, but Moz came up with a formula, but they basically rank websites out of 100. The average website in the UK is ranked about 22, and what you're trying to get is websites that are ranked higher than you in this number system, which it's called domain authority. You're able to go and reach Google, and there's a free domain tool, a domain authority checking tool. If you just Google that, it'll come up, and that'll tell you the numbers. But you want to find websites that have got higher domain authority and write a blog on their website and it links back to yours. That might be a PR article. Especially with local businesses, you can reach out to complementing businesses. So, for example, we reach out to a lot of business coaches and say, hey, would you mind us writing a blog on your website that is going to give your users practical insights in marketing? And I just want to do one little link back to my own website. Is that okay? I'm not taking business away from you. And find those little synergies like that and pull together. And it's quality links over quantity. Don't go onto Fiverr buying spam links, guaranteed page rankings. It's never going to work. I would rather three or four links that are about 20 points above your website, and that's going to be a lot more powerful. And also, that person might even share it on their social media. They might share it on their email, and you might even pick up some clients from it. Whereas if you go to a random backlink spams, you're going to just get crap from abroad, which isn't going to actually pay your bills or your mortgage, and that's ultimately why we're all here. Um, Here's an example of what a backlink looks like within an article. This is a Forbes article, and uh, just very linking to a business there. It's quite simple. It is indiscreet, but it doesn't really matter if anybody clicks it. But it's if Google sees it, and it's a trust ranking factor. So do not accept all backlinks and do not buy crap off Fiverr. I've said that a few times now and it's a pet hate. But yeah, do not accept all backlinks. Be picky. If it's not going to benefit your business, don't do it. Next, we're going to go into AI search, the future, and how to rank in the AI answers. We've all seen it. There's been a massive change in how Google search. We've got the AI box, we've got ChatGPT, we've got Gemini, we've got Copilot. Um, there is no secrets to this. It is just good normal SEO, but I will break it down a little bit more. Some of the things you can do is kind of repeating some of the subjects we've already spoken about, but it's just reaffirming. It looks for trust, clear, authoritative answers. So what changed? Here's a very clear example. Here's a simple Google search of what is the best piece in chess. On the right there, we saw Reddit, chess.com twice there, explaining what the best piece in chess is. But now on the new search, on the left-hand side is with almost position zero. People don't even have to go into your website to see this. This is why a lot of websites are seeing traffic drop recently, but they're not. They are still visible. The links are still below there, but the person isn't ready to buy. And this is what's important. So now, if you are appearing within AI search, you are still being recommended. And if that person goes deeper, dig deeper, or they ask a second question, or they ask, where can I buy this from? It's going to recommend you because it's used your information. So good SEO is good geo. And this came from Danny Sullivan, a guy that works within Google Search Liaison. And one more little quote to support this. A friend of mine, you don't need AEO, GEO, LLMO, or any other special AI SEO to rank in Google's AI overviews. There's so many people out there saying, oh, I can rank you number one within the AI overviews, so because they're just SEOs that are panicking. So Gary Isles is an analyst at Google. Go follow his Twitter. Go follow him on LinkedIn. That is massive. It's going to really. He shares so many insights that are completely free, and that's going to help you understand the search landscape. One final quote just from myself this time. ChatGPT and Gemini and Perplexity don't just list links, they read and understand and they combine the answers. So what they're going to do is take content from multiple websites, the good answers from loads of different websites, and combine them together to give an even better answer. So you want to be in there. Simply want to be in there. So how do you help AI understand your page? And it's about allowing uh, the structure of your page. We briefly mentioned it before. Make sure your titles explain what you do. That clear promise in that H1 title, cost, where you are, whatever it is. Summarize your content in the top box. I always text a lot of my clients TLDR, and what that means is it's too long, I didn't read. And that's human nature. We want to write a lot about a business. but summarize it in the top very quickly. You can write all of that content further down in the main answer or about the author, but simply people want to know the answer very quickly in the first couple of sentences. The other final very important thing about page structure and AI is it wants to know why you're qualified to give that information. And this is where your about the author pages come in. And this gets overlooked so many times. People just write a blog and post it. But go into your CMS, your website platform, and make sure when you go under authors that there's a little bit of information about you. You've been in the industry for X amount of years. You've worked within multi-million pound companies, whatever it might be. Um, Here's a link to your LinkedIn because then Google can see, oh, this is a real person that's writing this content. And that helps massively. If you can't summarize your page in 2 sentences, neither can AI. And it's as simple as that. The next area is measuring your results, and this gets missed quite often. You need to track meaningful metrics. So many agencies are still stuck just tracking keywords. Obviously, it's important, but it's dropping down the list of importance. What do we care about? Is the phone ringing, and are we getting leads? Track those metrics. Are we getting people land on this blog, and are these people coming through to actually contact us? Track the amount of people that are coming through, and that tells you, are you doing better? Google Search Console, see you can in that free tool again, you can see what people search to find you and build on that because you might see, oh, actually somebody asked a question here and they found this blog, but that blog doesn't specifically talk about that subject. So improve that content, and that's going to help you appear more for that search term. And the other next free tools, Google Analytics. A lot of the platforms such as Wix and Squarespace have analytics platforms built in, but they're just as good. But definitely go in there, look at your analytics, analyze where your traffic's coming from. What blogs are they actually reading? That also gives you signals of what to share on social media because if people are Googling it to find it, it shows some sort of intent there. So coming towards the end now, we've got some common myths and mistakes. Um, the myth is more keywords is better, and that is completely incorrect. As mentioned earlier, one keyword per page, unless it's a supporting keyword. The next mistake a lot of businesses make is copying competitors word for word. I've had clients come and go, oh, this is our competitor A, competitor B. Just copy and paste that page. They've said it's fine. I could just copy and paste that. No, don't do that. Let's rewrite it. Let's write original content and let's outrank that person. We don't want to be on the same level as that person. And also, when Google's looking at the two, goes, oh, this content's the same, this content's the same. It's going to rank the original content based on publishing date. The next mistake a lot of people make is ignoring bad reviews and bad comments. As mentioned, reply to everybody, and that's going to help you a lot. And it shows you address customer concerns. And the final mistake is changing everything every week, jumping around, changing direction, changing your marketing plan. Sit down, create a plan. This is direction we're going to go. We're going to write a blog a week about this subject and be consistent and don't change don't turn your world upside down every 5 minutes. Don't start changing the structure of your website every 5 minutes. Do it once and then let Google learn that. If you do need to change it down the line, change it again in 6 months, but don't chop and change and go, oh, that's not working. It needs about 3 months to get going, really. There's no quick fix in SEO or Google. A realistic timeline. I've just thought I'd put this down as to show you how long it might take for you to get results. So in 1 to 4 weeks, you're going to see your traffic go up. You can update your profile, fix technical issues on your website. Um, and they're your quick wins. And then you want to start growing. So in like the second month to the 6th month, you start creating your content and you're earning links from external websites. You're getting PR in now. You're building out location pages on your website. And then by month 6, you're just starting to compound it because you're already seeing the results coming through from your work in the previous 6 months. And consistency beats hacks every time. Do not cut corners. Just to give you an example, here is 6 months results for one of our clients, seeing a 659% in active users on their website. This particular client, they sell outdoor sheds. Each client's worth around between 6 and 15 grand, and they've had 67 people get to the thank you page on their website. They've converted a whole bunch of those. They're extremely happy. What I was saying about trust, make sure you're collecting those reviews. Here's just a couple of reviews from our website. It's so important that people can relate to businesses similar to their own and go, do you know what? This person is helping other people. And make sure you've got trust on every single page. Simple as that. Here at Tootle Works, we have everything you need to scale your business, whether it's paid advertising, SEO and content, social media. We can build you websites. We can even just write you a marketing plan, email marketing, and all the analytics and reporting. We're a complete marketing team under one roof right here in Medway. And we're small, but you can come and talk to your account manager, and that beats a Zoom call anytime. Here's a few more of the checklists. Down the bottom there, you can see the SEO checklist is a very simple checklist that just talks you through everything I spoke about today. Again, all of that QR code, the 10-point conversion audit, I need to put onto that link, but it will be in there later on. Just drop me an email. This should be incredibly useful. It's completely free. I'm not even asking for your email to access this. Just QR code, open on my website, press the button, it will show you these documents. There's also a business MOT checklist, and that goes through social media and blogs and keywords, etc. All on one sheet. Just give yourself a mini audit. With all of these, be brutally honest with yourself. We want to make ourselves feel good and go, yeah, tick, 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 tick. But if there is a cross, make it an action, and go ahead and action that further down the line. And so, again, for me, that is everything today. Again, within that same QR code, there is a free SEO audit there, and we will send you a document that shows how well your website is performing. And you even have the option to have a 20-minute call with myself or one of the team where we will go through on Zoom or in person over a beer or a coffee and talk about the issues on your website and give you some actionable insights. And that's me coming to the end there. If there's any questions, I will happily take them.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Matthew. Yeah, we do have a couple of questions, so I will go through them now. If anyone else has any, either put them in the Q&A or the chat, and we'll make sure that we answer everyone's questions. Hattie said, with Google Business, can you have two locations? So they've got two co-working spaces.
Yep.
Can they use both locations and addresses on their Google Business?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Within once you've created one of the locations, there's an option within the settings to add a location. This is how big brands like McDonald's or Wimpy or KFC add all of these individual locations around the country. Google understands that you might have a second shop doing the exact same thing, just in a different location. Each you would then, once you open that, you'll get another profile exactly the same for that location, and then you just need unique pictures of the second co-working space and the address in there. Verify it. Quick video around the co-working space. That's going to be massive.
Amazing. Thank you. Just another one from Holly. She says, how important is site speed compared to content quality? Which one would you?
Right, so I think technical SEO is most important. There's no point having great content if your website is like a snail. People bounce off. We're humans. What do you do if you're sitting on a train going into London, trying to view a blog or something and it's not loaded? You just go back and go to the next one because it didn't load. So there has to be a very fine balance, but I would very much look at your site speed early on because you're going to lose a lot of traffic. It can be fixed whatever platform you're on. So whether you're on a self-build like Wix or Squarespace, or if you're on something more bespoke, it can be fixed. There is no, oh, this is terribly slow. There's no options. If you want gain on that QR code, there is a contact box there. Just drop me a link and I might give you some suggestions actually how to speed up your website, which we can do within the free audit as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Um, Graham has said, if using a plugin to support SEO, would you recommend, I've got to say this right now, Yoast or Rank Math? I'm
Okay,
assuming, and why, if
I'm very
possible.
much I'm very much a traditionalist. I don't use plugins for SEO as it. more plugins you have on your website, it slows your website down. Now, if I had to choose a plugin, I'd go with Yoast. It's very simple. It's quite light. It allows you to add structured data and all, it gives you that traffic light system. So, if I was to use a tool, it would be Yoast. And do go and pay the £100 for the premium. It's well worth it compared to the base level.
Brilliant. Samantha has said if you use your own photos of, say, your engineers carrying out a task, is there a risk that someone else will use those images on their website, and how would you reduce that risk?
Absolutely, there's always risk. I'd watermark them. I'd go into Canva and add my company logo in there on down the bottom right. Also, buy some high vis that have got your logo on if it's your engineers. So when you take those pictures, they should be wearing a high vis on site anyway, or their helmets. Um, Take those pictures, retake them. If you want help getting rid some branded high vis, again, I've got the links. Just drop me a message and I can do it. Within that QR code is my LinkedIn as well.
Thank you. So another one. Dom has said, is there any difference between .com and .co.uk? And does redirecting out-of-date links on higher authority domains affect your rankings?
Right. So .com mean is so .com is the US or the rest of the world. .co.uk is the UK. Then you've got .es, which is Spain. .fr, which is France. It's about your location. That is what the importance is. You want to protect your brand regardless. So we use a .com because we work worldwide. That just works simpler, but we also own the .co.uk. We also own the .es because what's important is protecting your brand. Now, what you want to show your customers depends on where your audience is. So if you have no plans of ever going beyond Medway or the UK, .co.uk is perfect, but buy that .com and pull it in the background. If you want to be a global company, go with .com and have the .co.uk in the background. You can have as many domain names as possible pointing at the single domain name and it just switch over. Now, in terms of pointing links to your website, my question is, are they relevant? It's very much a black hat old trick was to go and find old domain names of companies that are shut down and just redirect them to your website to get links. It does work if they're relevant. If they've got a load of spam, it could just drag you down a hole. So you just need to be very careful there and review those links and make sure they are relevant to your business. There is a tool called Google Deval, which again is a free tool by Google, which you can remove backlinks and tell Google that's not a relevant backlink. That does get a bit deeper, a bit more technical, but there that option is out there. Again, if you wanted to talk about it in a bit more depth, feel free to reach out to me.
Perfect. And we'll do one last one from Tom. He said, how long before I should see measurable results in my SEO in my business?
Okay, you will get results from your SEO within the first couple of weeks in terms of traffic. Um, I never promise more any real tangible break-even results until about month three. And it's exactly why, as a business, we have a 3 month SEO guarantee, and that's very unique in our industry. Is it's the minimum time to see tangible results for your business. You will get leads, you will get results, but are they going to break even in the early months? Probably not. You're going to see traffic increase. See, as a rule of thumb, you're probably going to need to get about 100 visitors to get a contact, because most people are window shopping. And then you then just need to scale that up. Okay, I've got 1,000 visitors now. I've got 10 contacts. Out of those 10 contacts, I've closed two of those. And that's where you start getting your return on investment. The more traffic you get, the more right traffic you get, I should say, converts into more leads and more sales.
Amazing. Um, Lovely. We'll stop there. But thank you so much,
No
Matthew,
problem.
for your time this morning. I have learned so much. And I'm gonna go, I've got a lot of takeaways, and just loads of stuff that I've come out with. So I've really enjoyed this workshop with SEO. I hope everyone's got as many scribbles all over their notepad as me and has taken away as much information as we've got. I'd just like to draw everyone's attention to just a couple of upcoming events. We are in Swale next week, actually, on Tuesday. We've got one last slot available to speak to one of our business advisors and someone from the Kent and Medway Business Fund as well. So if you're interested in having a one-to-one appointment with them, the details are on our website and I'll send them out to you as well. We also have a 2-day startup course on the 18th and 19th of February. Um, and we have a How to Become an Influencer with Kira Atwell, who is My Fussy Eater on Instagram and TikTok. So if you're looking at using content creation to power and grow your business, then that would be a really good event as well. That one is in Ashford, but online as well. I'll send everyone the details out after today. But thank you so much for taking part today, everyone, and we will see you soon. Perfect. I've kicked them all out.
Perfect. Yep, that was fun. I enjoyed that.